have young children. I have a 7-year-old girl and a 4-year-old girl. And we're at the playground, and I swear there are kids who fall, and I got to go. Kids I don't know. I got to go over and like dust them off and comfort them because the mom or dad doesn't even know because they're on their phone.
Yeah.
Right? That's not parenting. I mean, like, what do you
Especially
have kids for?
playgrounds, man. Playgrounds are still a little sketchy. You know, my daughter, when she was 6, she broke her arm at school on a playground. Yeah, it's playgrounds are fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
You know, you're swinging around and you're playing, and kids fall the wrong way, and
we're on the Lower East Side in New York City, so it's sketchy in some other ways too. Like you got to be awake, right? You got to be alert and just like, and not only that, but you had kids. Like, what do you do? Like, just enjoy this while you can.
Talk video more interesting than
exactly.
the human that you made.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys made humans.
Yeah.
They're I mean, that still freaks me out to this day, even when they're mad at me. Girls, they're mad at you for stuff like doesn't even make sense. Like, you're like, okay.
How old are they?
The youngest right now is 14.
Oh, wow. So I got 7 and 4. So, so that thing's coming. Okay, got it.
Yeah. I got a 14 and 16 and then a grown one. I got a 27-year-old.
Because I've had girlfriends that were mad at me for things that I didn't think made sense. And I was like, okay, well, that's all right. That's because you're crazy and, whatever. But actually, like, that might be in my future.
They're just different. It's just women and girls are just different. And me, I think the universe did me a solid by giving me only daughters.
Yeah.
You have a different perspective. Like, if I had a son, I'd be like, I got to keep this fucking savage out of jail. You got to start doing challenging things early. And then also you have to deal with the fact that you have a successful father, and that puts a lot of pressure on a kid because they, a lot of kids, they try to measure up to their parents or compete with their fathers in some sort of a strange way. So you have to mitigate that in advance and tell them that you're there for them, you're on their side. It's like, there's a lot with kids, but with girls, they're so different, man. Yeah. I don't think I understood until I raised children. I just didn't understand how different they are.
Yeah, I have 2 girls. I mean, it's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, that and meeting my wife. Like, that, it's just incredible. And partly because they're girls and not boys. I have nothing to learn from boys. I already know what that's about. I am one, right? But girls is just like, it's amazing. It just and it wakes up some part of you that was dormant and you didn't know was there. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it's an amazing feeling.
Dave Chappelle said to me once that not only did it change the amount of love I have, but it changed my capacity for love.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just a completely different experience. And I have friends that are just avowed bachelors. I'm never getting married. I'm never having kids. Fuck that. And I'm like, I get it. I know if you've had a bunch of bad relationships, you have a bunch of people that are annoying and there's constant drama and dilemmas and all these different things. But man, you're missing out on a different phase of life, a different experience of life. That's just, it's so humbling.
I flatline. Like, if someone's coming at me with something that doesn't make sense and they're really upset, I just sort of emotionally flatline. I get super rational and just 0 Kelvin, like nothing, right? And which is a kind of a good place to be because it's not escalatory.
Yeah.
But I've come to find out that's also exceedingly provocative to do to someone who's upset.
Oh, so they try to like get a response out of you.
Yeah, and they think that your non-response means you don't care.
Ooh, that's a problem.
And then you're just so screwed.
That's also a problem with emotional manipulation, where you realize that this escalation of emotions is really just to incite a reaction. It's not the real feelings.
Right. That's right.
Which is why it's so exaggerated.
And I think I'm doing the relationship a favor by, I was like, somebody's got to stay sane in this room, right? Right? Or it's going to, the cops are getting, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to flatline. The only way to do this, because you're making me really angry right now, is to flatline and feel nothing. Yeah. Now, I'm going to do us a favor by doing that. I'll be super rational and calm and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't realize that's completely inflammatory also in a different way. So there really isn't a good choice until that person figures out how to emotionally regulate. Yeah,
the good choice is get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, that's right.
A good choice.
That's right.
Stay rational and calm as you can until you can abandon that relationship.
Yeah.
Unless that person has just a complete understanding of what went wrong and apologizes and realizes I'm being fucking crazy.
I knew a guy who was, I won't name him, his older brother, they're both sort of pretty well-known writers, and his older brother was in a bad relationship of that sort. And they were walking through, I think it was Paris. They were visiting Paris, and all their stuff was at the hotel. This is before smart cell phones. This is in the early 90s, late 80s, something like that. And they're walking through Paris, and they stopped to look. She stopped to look at some clothing in a shop front, through the window. And it took him some steps to realize that she had stopped, and he had kept going. And he looked at her, and he looked down the street. He was like, "This is my chance," and he just started sprinting.
Oh my God!
And he